He keeps trying to land on my coffee, and I'm like, get out of here. Okay. I don't know how he got in here. Did you watch Breaking Bad?
No.
Okay, there's an episode called Fly. It's very good. I recommend it.
I saw the Breaking Bad from Mirage, but that's the only one. But game one, we've seen. Okay, we see the idea. We've explained the idea why they try to make this kind of team call, they were trying to do.
Yeah.
But you have the idea, but coordination, it takes time. It takes lots of practice. I don't think it's going to come in one game. Maybe they will have a miraculous game with super coordination with all the comfort picks, which I don't think they will have this time, especially when you see all these support chokes coming in from BlossoM from game number 1. I think they made a very smart approach to spanning out Chun, which a lot of the stronger teams also did against Raven.
Yeah.
I think it's going to continue over game number 2 and all the way into the late series.
Well, let's see where we're headed for game 2. It's going to be Cursed Hollow. This will be actually the map pick of Raven. So they're giving BlossoM first pick. So it's only Raven really does this, by the way. It hasn't gotten them any success.
Is this going to be on Asmodee?
I think so.
That's what
I
I
hope
want
not,
to
but
ask you.
I think so. And let me see. I want to look at exactly how many games at Asmodee have been played.
5, from what I know.
3 in this phase and 5 total.
Yes.
And he is 0-5 on it. But
and there was a game without a support. Avather,
right.
not a support, of course.
We'll see if Raven wants to show us that draft again. I think there's a high chance. It'd be really funny if BlossoM just bans it, even though it's not like a strong ban. It's like, no, guys.
No, I know what you're trying to do. We know everything about
like
your
first
team.
ban Asmodee, Deyoung's just like, can I leave? Can I go home? That's all I came here to do.
He has a panic attack in the booth or something. That will be insane. Oh, Avather. Okay, this one makes sense, of course.
Okay.
Let's see. Raven, of course. Okay, this time, banning Genji. Sounds like a smart choice. And BlossoM actually does not really use Ario too much, especially after the role swap. No Chat likes Uther a lot, even from his Hero League too. So that's something you can take away from BlossoM. Okay, they're bringing some changes.
Hey, this looks like a good draft. This looks smart so far.
It's been a while. Falstad, first pick, and Leeming, the best skin. I'm loving that skin so much. I used all my shards to buy that skin. And
seems like you need to get some more shards to you.
The day after, I spent my 2,400 shards. It went down to 1,600.
Yeah.
Poor G Clef.
Poor G Clef. It's fine. You got the Leeming skin, so you're good.
Yeah, I'm good.
Falstad has a 75% win rate, by the way. Mostly because players like Sake are playing him, mostly on smaller maps. But we'll see if this roster of Raven can make this Falstad pick work, as we see BlossoM is just literally drafting as standard as you could ever be in Korea. Like, cover the name. Like, if I lost my memory and came to this and you covered BlossoM's name at the top, I'd say, well, it could be MVP Black, it could be L5, like could be MVP Miracle. Like, this draft is really standard. And they have a global, and they got it before Raven decided to grab their global. They have protection for Greymane. He's got very good wave clear for the timings on this map. Brightwing pick, as we have seen triple global on this map, not by Raven, but something the idea there. And the Anubarak ban, remember I was talking about it could end up being an Achilles heel for Gondar, that his hero pool is so limited currently without the stitches. So I think the Anubarak ban is brilliant in this case.
I think it makes sense coming in, and of course they don't want to lose any more of the supports.
This is when NMX is like, don't you dare lock in Asmodee. This draft is normal. I like it. he's like, don't you dare. Deyoung's like, no, we can play Asmodee here. He's like, no.
No way. With Rehgar, Falstad, Leeming, we already have a global. We don't need Asmodee, okay? And by the way, this is still 27.0 patch, the Garrosh patch, not the balanced one that's going to come in the next coming week.
He's like, I'm taking my headset off. If you lock in the Asmodee, I'm walking out. He's like, I'm done. He's like, no, but it delays their tribute, though.
D.Va.
Okay. D.Va.
Ooh.
So D.Va did get a slight change to level 4
Yeah,
Defense Matrix.
yeah, the Matrix. Oh, Medivh and Diablo. Now this is a good change. I like this comp from BlossoM. It's their own color. They bring out Medivh sometimes for the protection. Of course, with Cho'Gao sometimes too. But this one, they provide lots of sustained damage, and Greymane can go for the throw, for the kill. Diablo and Dehaka for lots of CCs. I'm liking this solid double tank coming out from BlossoM.
Well, there's a lot of mobility on the side of the heroes for Raven, so getting the Diablo picks is going to be very difficult. This is one of Diablo's worst maps. I think this is a Gondar hero pool problem pick, but it will be made easier, obviously, by Medivh with the portals. And wow, Asmodee, let's draft. We did it, G-Clef. High five, like, yeah. Okay.
We made it through, and Muradin, of course, the candy one.
So
coordination will be a little bit of a problem. There's no burst, and Limi can provide the burst, but is that going to be enough damage?
I just want to see a D.Va self-destruct in a boss pit. Falstad gusts everyone into the pit. They can't get away, and everybody dies to self-destruct. Let's see it. No. Let's talk about the drafts a little bit more as we get into the game. I wasn't sure if Raven was really going to play this one out in standard fashion. It's not quite standard what we're seeing, but it feels to be a solid draft. We'll break it down as we get into game, guys. Let's jump into Cursed Hollow for game number 2. So we have a pause, toilet issue, as I think is the official Korean term for this.
It's the official Korean esports term.
Toilet issue. So we have a pause.
That was a nice meme.
One of the players, we weren't told which one, had to go to the bathroom, and it was an emergency, we were told. So he's running over to the restroom. Luckily, we have very nice bathrooms here at the OGN studio.
Yes.
Private lights for each stall. Very good dryers. There's one sink's like really tall if you're like a really tall guy. There's one sink's really short if you're a really short guy. Toilet paper's always filled. The tissues to wipe your hands, though, not always. Not every time. Sometimes the Ajima signs off, but they're not in there. I don't know what's going on with that. But otherwise, the bathrooms are pretty perfect.
Yep, every single floor. And that's the kind of building we're having esports in. That's OGN. And
clean bathrooms, man.
Yes.
Not always the toilet tissues to dry your hands,
from the room of bath, you know.
That's right. So I'm sure they'll be able to efficiently and quickly finish their toilet issue, come back, and we'll have to resume with no problems. Luckily, this happened before the game started, or right before the gates opened, I guess. The game started, but the gates didn't open yet. So it's all good. This is not going to affect the game in any way.
Yep, that's right. And I keep on thinking about the Brightwing second ban coming out from BlossoM. I think, of course, Raven did take Falstad from the beginning for the rotational work and take control of the boss. I think that's going to come in handy when they try to make some big moves or even to steal a boss or a camp timing later on. But I think BlossoM was actually a little bit concerned of maybe if they want to go for double global, maybe the Haka could not, maybe it's not enough. So I think they are actually super strict, and their line of thinking is on top of Raven's head right now.
I think, too, the triple globals that we've seen with Brightwing, which they could have gone down that path, they wouldn't have the Dahaka, but there are other globals available. Get out of here, Fly. Look, he's right on my monitor. Watch it, guys. You're going to see him fly up.
You need the chopsticks.
Anyway, yeah, if I had chopsticks, I could grab
them. But you're not
him.
Asian, sorry.
I've grabbed a Fly with chopsticks before.
No, not being a racist here, of course.
But anyway, so the triple global with Brightwing that we have seen is not as global as this Fly right now. The triple global that we have seen with the Brightwing Falstad can get you picks, right? It's a gank-oriented composition, but they just removed the possibility with that Brightwing ban. A safe way to play it. Bathroom, toilet issue is resolved. Here we go. Wiz is on Dahaka, Gondar on Diablo, Mora on Medivh, Dudu on Greymane, and No Chat on Uther.
And in red, Raven, Darvish on Leeming, Hamlin on Falstad, and Max on D.Va, Diong on Muradin, and Chom on Rehgar.
So let's see how the D.Va play works out. This will be D.Va's 4th time being used in HGC Korea Phase 2 since release, so we will see how this one pans out. Will be Wolf Run on the Rehgar, my personal favorite. No bias.
Of course, also Medivh will... We saw lots of the portal used for the rotational work too, especially on the battlegrounds like Spider Queens. saw lots of those rotations coming in. And the Mexico just soaking in the damage. And BlossoM with the Haka, I think their rotational would just out-rotate the entire map of Raven. Well, once it comes down to 10, Raven can have lots of zoning controls, especially for camps and boss, as we mentioned. But by that time,
didn't time his Dark Swarm with it, or it could have maybe been a pick. He obviously was out of range to pull into the cannon turret, the towers. But yeah, the early game here is definitely advantage BlossoM. They got this cleared much faster in the bot lane. They didn't lose any experience. They forced NMX to Hearth home on the D.Va, and looks like he is just now returning to the mid lane. And if Falstad is losing to Dahaka in top, then it's already going to be a bad situation, I think. Okay, that was a very good barrel roll. Falstad is ranged, so should be able to bully Wiz in the top lane in the 1v1. You know, just make sure you don't want to push too far, though, and get ganked. So, it's like we're going to see a rotation over here with Diablo, but again, at this stage, I don't think Diablo can really do too much. It's too obvious what he's doing. One of Diablo's worst maps because he just simply cannot soak hard to get his souls up early, and he cannot gank easily because the lanes are so far apart.
That's right. And even if you try to gank or do some kind of CC, the focusing will not be perfect because Greymane is, along with the Uther, or at least was on the in the bottom lane, and Haka Diablo just soaking EXP right now.
Yep. See the camp timings for both teams. Only one hero required for BlossoM because they have Greymane in their comp, whereas with the Rhaegar, if you want to clear it as quickly, you need the double. It's already scouted out by Mora on the Medivh. He knew this was happening, so it's almost it's a bit surprising that he even stuck around so long for that, because there's not a single Korean team in this league that would not be there at that exact time. Either way, does check it. And it looks like we might see a baited gank here in the top lane. Actually, they don't have vision of Dudu. Unfortunately, unsuccessful. Good reaction here by Hamlin. But this still pushes the lane in really hard. And the Siege Giants are going to help out with that. Unfortunate spawn location for BlossoM, though. The Siege Giants on the wrong side of the map. So actually, Raven will get the advantage in terms of pushing in the bot lane. They're leaving Li Ming down there for a long time.
I think Li Ming's going to stay because they did not lose Hamlin from the initial gank that came in. Maybe they will just give this up or try to stall at least a long time to actually counter the tribute to a fort down there. I think Raven will be actually happy to lose this.
Oh, Diong's super low. If they lose this, it's fine as long as they don't lose members. If they lose it and lose members, then it's not okay, as they'll lose the fort anyways. Dahaka is rotating down slowly, but they won't save the fort. It will go down, yeah.
Nicely done by Raven there.
This is a smart move. And sure, they lose the tribute, but in the short term, that is going to be absolutely okay. They take a structural lead from this. Li Ming isn't the best hero to wave clear or split push, but given the very little time they had to react, and because it was an unfortunate location for Falstad, he couldn't fly down there to get the soak. They made do with what they could. And they didn't use the self-destruct either. NMX is going to hold on to that. So they're waiting for a better opportunity. That was an awkward one, where they said, okay, let's just try to maximize the value of the Siege Giants in the bot lane instead of just simply trying to take that fight, having the slow rotation up from Li Ming. And I like how it turned out. Another top tribute spawn, this time on blue side. So very favorable for BlossoM, especially because they have their global on the opposite side of the map. So if Li Ming doesn't come up, this is going to be a problem. So as you can see, she's leaving on the minimap right now to come up. That means Dahaka gets the extra soak down there.
Yeah, smart choice. Of course, the fort is already down, so Li Ming can't really go in all the way deep, and it will cost her own life. So they have to come and commit all the way. Dahaka can join anytime. So this is actually a good chance for BlossoM soaking a lot more EXP. And their tank actually, Camp is just canceling in the middle. Young actually taking a ton of damage, and Mora also has to protect. Does not have the portal. It seems like
too late.
Just came back, and it was too late indeed.
Still, the longer this fight goes on, the more Dahaka does in the bot lane. Looks like they were going to give up the tribute, so with this kill, a 1-for-1 tribute. But I guess you could argue that very similar value was given to BlossoM this game.
Yeah, and rip stacks. I was actually counting stacks. It was actually around 6 to 7. So need a lot more time now.
By the way, Dahaka didn't do that much damage to the fort because he didn't have Siege Giants. Raven not only got the tribute and a pick, but they also were able to deplete the ammo here, and Darvish will get away on Li Ming in the top lane. So they did so much more, both tributes, than BlossoM did in terms of structure damage, and now they even up the tribute count, so they're not dealing with Curse Point.
Oh, DeYoung, please. Pierce the entire Q build. Later on, if you have so much stacks, you actually do tons of damage to the buildings, the structures. You do like 15k, like not 15k.
1500, yeah.
15k will be insane. 1500 or more in the late games. I've tried that sometimes, like a long time ago when I was a noob. I was still a noob, but
hey, I mean, it actually it was a common build back in the day for solo queue, and we were all noobs once, G-Clef. But this is a really important tribute. It's
I think
on
it's
red
also
side.
okay since they do not have so much CC. Pierce may be needed when, especially something like Diablo dies him, along with something else like Greymane.
Yeah.
I think they.
Speaking of, see you later, Dudu. This is poor coordination on the side of BlossoM. This rotation designed to greedily clear the cap without vision struggles. Dahak is forced to go top lane. They're going to have to give this tribute up. At least they have the top push. I think Falstad's going to go up and deal with that right now with the flight. I think Dahak actually has to match him top, or they are in dire straits, because now Raven has 10. They're even. They're even going to go for the boss here, potentially. They have vision control. If they get the pick on the
Haymaker
Gondar,
will be coming in. DeYoung will just push
self-destruct, or sorry, bunny hop.
Nicely done by Mora, catching every single member there.
If they had not gotten that leyline seal, I think they lose 2 and lose the boss. So very important leyline seal. It is on cooldown now, though. Let's see if Raven wants to force this. They have self-destruct. They only use the bunny hop, which when I saw the indicator, I thought we were seeing a self-destruct for a second, but no, it was just the bunny hop. Hamlin clears the Giants, so they have the lead in the top lane here with the forts as well. And Raven is playing a great game. I have nothing bad to say about what we've seen in this game from start to finish.
Also, I think Haymaker is also okay from what we see so far, because Greymane's still holding his. Could actually be okay. Go for the throw for the kill. Of course, makes more sense without the avatar onto Muradin. But there's not much of too much burst damage coming in, because Medivh, of course, is more sustained damage coming in. So Haymaker is. Hamlin survives that too. Or is it going to be more of just picking up the kill? No, not this time.
Okay, this is really important. Falstad does get picked
From the APOC, I guess.
Yeah, from APOC there. Somewhat greedy there. It's actually kind of crazy that they were able to get that. So the APOC gets the kill on the Falstad. This should be enough for them to even up the tribute fight. So going back to what you're saying about Haymaker, though, I think we have to review this in about 3 to 5 minutes time, because when he locked it in, the idea was to guarantee the double kill in the bot lane. He failed to get those because of the really cool leyline seal. And sometimes when you hold heroics, you get this opportunity to lock in and get a kill. And we see it so many times with Mosh Pit, for example, back in the day. We see it with Haymaker, Judgment, for example, where you lock in and you get these kills. And then sometimes there are trade-offs in the late game, but if you can make that pick, that lock-in worth the kills to snowball the game, it works out. But if you don't, then later on when you don't have it, you really miss it. And I think that might be the situation we have here in this game, as we're going to see the attempted contest, but yet again, Mora in perfect position to get the double ley line.
There's a Pierce, the double stacks coming in, but Chom is alone, and he may be cut off alone, and oh, D.Va comes in handy here. Explosion will buy the zone.
Divine Shield has to be used here. The body blocking coming out from DeYoung was really good. They're going to trade the self-destruct for the Divine Shield. Already Falstad is dead, though. Remember, this is about to be Curse, so they can't lose anyone else. Curse with boss could be the double boss here against Raven. They cannot lose anybody else right now. They need to leave. And MX is going to do just that.
Also see another idea of just using the Haymaker when they try to go into the portal. I think they can stop it if Muradin is in the perfect positioning. And oftentimes it requires a Dwarf Toss into the portal or next to the portal, and meanwhile they can actually portal out.
Yeah.
I think it's a hard idea to actually achieve in the game, but it's possible.
Well, let's see what they want to do with this boss as the Curse is active. Looks like they're pushing mid hard. No rotation to attempt to grab boss. They want to keep instead. It could still contest the boss after this expires in 40 seconds, but they want to at least push in the keep wall right now. They are rotating away. As you see, NMX is just soaking the top lane right now, making sure that they don't lose top fort, while also trying to maintain that same talent here that will hit the 13. So let's see how this next fight plays out, because now BlossoM does have Curse Point against them. They didn't get the keep. They got the keep wall slightly damaged. I don't even think they've completed that. and they didn't get the boss, but they could posture for a boss play now after they take this mid camp. It's going to be the night camp.
Yeah, Raven has a pretty good tool, Haymaker and the Gust available, but the Leyline Seal APOC combo didn't even happen yet. When it comes to small zoning, when you try to get into that circle on the zone, Leyline Seal will be very, very handy for BlossoM, and they also have the APOC, will be a strong zoning tool when it comes to the time when you try to steal this boss, so it seems like they are going for the pressure.
Okay, NMX almost lost his mech there. That would have been problematic considering he didn't even have the self-destruct to remech.
Also, that would help BlossoM to get to 16 EXP. Hamelin has to use the Gust for defensive use. He's alone again.
Ooh, Leyline, they want this. The APOC timed with that Leyline Seal. So well done. Darvish here trying to do what he can. The Li Ming skin, it's sexy, but it's not going to be the kills. It's not going to be the resets. Ancestral having to be used here early with no avatar available to him. Diong is very much exposed. The self-destruct will force everyone to zone away from the wall, but it doesn't save Diong. And that's going to be the double. And NMX trying to chase, force them to dismount here with pilot form, but I mean, that fight was partially lost because of the lack of avatar on the side of Diong, and we wondered, would we have to ask that question? Would we have to take a look back at when they 4 levels ago locked it in? Would they regret it? And I feel like this is the first time they definitely did.
Yeah, partially lost. If Hamelin was not there, I don't think the fight was even started at all. So
that's true.
Yeah, and so that's the thing. And also, Raven can also have something in mind. Haymaker just just pulling one with the Haymaker and gusting the rest of the team. Kind of like Gorge with the Gust available. But if every member of the team steps over the line like this and gets picked off, there will be no chance of having that combo. And even with the combo, I don't think they can get a kill. That will be the biggest problem.
I have to say, on this 3rd game career for Mora on Medivh, he has had an incredible performance. He has had 3 hyper-impactful Leyline Seals that changed team fights, saved his teammates. He's had really good protection. He did lose his stacks early, but he has them now. Oh, this is never going to be a one fight for Raven. No avatar yet again. Diong has to use Haymaker. I guess it will save him, but he could have tried to at least reinitiate the fight if he had that health from avatar. He doesn't. Hamelin is actually getting soloed here by Mora with the the stacks completed. He might lose the 1v1. Okay, he didn't die, but he lost the 1v1. We have to be frank here. And Mora, as we say, his Medivh is good, and he wins a 1v1 against a Falstad who has Season and Marksman stacks. They lose the boss here. Siege Giant's pushing the lane as well.
Not the best APOC, but Gondar is diving in because they have more members. Bunnyhop doing barely any damage. Also has to get Ancestral, and Cho will also picked off. And Greymane, it's about time. And Li Ming doing some damage, so Greymane survived. And the portal is there! What a save from Mora, just like that.
Yeah, NMX has the self-destruct, but he can't use it. There's no way to utilize it to get the kills.
The boss has been pushing the top lane.
They will get Curse, which will relieve some of the minion pressure that's in the top lane, but still the boss and the Siege Giants will do a lot of damage. Hamelin is slowly dealing with this, but this means the Curse will gain nothing in terms of positive. It will only be used defensively. It almost feels like Raven right now is just eating blow for blow. This will help save the keep, it looks like here, if Hamelin actually clears those Giants. We'll have to back off for a second. It's taking aggro there. We'll clear the Giants. They will save the keep. But this resets tributes. And I wonder what the money fight is supposed to be for Raven, because with the Haymaker, there were opportunities. But when Mora is playing this well, every opportunity is ruined by a Leyline Seal or a Protective Shield coming out, the Force of Will. We're seeing these incredible portals to start retreats here. Mora has been the star of this game, absolutely. He hasn't won a game of Medivh in his career, but this might be the first time. And the coordination we're even seeing with APOC Leyline, a combo very rarely seen or rarely properly executed, looks to be very strong.
Of course, they had the initial pressure onto the boss zone already, but because Mora was pressuring Falstad could not even get close to the boss zone to use the Gust for the disengage to take their own boss. It was impossible because of that one play from Mora. What an incredible play tonight so far, of course.
So far, game's not over yet. The keep lives. If it were dead, I might say the game was over, but it's alive. And so are the chances of Raven. Will they get 21st? Almost absolutely not. But With the situation we're in now, there's a small chance that they could win a team fight if it's done correctly.
Ooh, DeYoung steps a little bit early.
It could be the self-destruct.
He gets so much damage,
Ley
and
line.
Wiz comes in. And
Again, the ley line, G-Clef.
I mean, when he dove in, Laming and Falset was still clearing the lane, and Falset is still just in the mid lane, just clearing the camp there. The coordination is from Raven, and shot calling is just not there tonight. And on the other side, BlossoM, they are making the right moves against them.
This was Raven's best game, I think, of 2017, though, to be honest. It's not over yet. You know, the keep still stands. The keep wall in the bot lane is very weak, if not destroyed, because of the first curse of the game. But this boss will definitely put a hurt onto the keep. They will hit 20 right after they capture it. But I think this is Raven's best game of 2017. They literally chose heroes that they knew how to use well in the early game. They made great decisions, leaving Darvish in the bot lane to kill that bot fort early on when they contested Curse. They had the stronger push in top, and they had a very strong early game. They had, in fact, a slight lead. They were even on tributes, but team fighting has been where they've been lacking. Mora saving them in the bot lane with that first leyline seal when the Haymaker was locked in, I think was the first step towards defeat for Raven. But everything before that was really well executed. So even if they lose with this push, with the Golem coming across right now, I think they could be happy with what they accomplished. Self-destruct here used early. Diablo pushes it away. Great force of will here on the Tudu to keep them alive.
And then picks Stone Skin at 16. A little bit fishy things going on for DeYoung, of course, but had 31 stacks, so he got all those Qs well in time for against all the opponents.
Double keep.
Some CCs.
This is a 4v5 with Dahaka in the top lane, so double keep. Leyline seal. He hasn't missed a single one all game. APOC, the timing here gets the double, even with the Gust attempt. It does not work. Timing a little bit off for Hamlin. Not so much for Mora and Gondar. That's the demeching of NMX, and this looks to be game over. A great start for Raven. Good rotational play, the likes of which we have not seen from this team overall throughout this year. The professional career of these players in 2017 has not been this coordinated, this smart, this intelligent. But now it's going to be BlossoM taking the 2-0 lead, looking to take the 3-0 victory as we see the B-steps come out.
Oh, but so much damage from BlossoM, and they're just getting picks and picks, and that's going to be game number 2. It was not the most perfect win from BlossoM, but I think from the draft, what they wanted to do and their playstyle, and I think Mora gaining the confidence